So for the past 30 years, ever since I had my daughter, I've had all kinds of gut issues. It started out with Candida. Well, I didn't know it was Candida at the time, but I got really sick after I had her and I wasn't bouncing back. And I came across a book called The Yeast Connection. And 30 years ago, we didn't have the internet or anything. So there was really nothing out there about Candida and things like that. But I found the yeast connection and I started to follow that diet, the no fruit, high protein, high fat, low carb, all that kind of thing. And throughout the past 30 years, I've kind of stuck to that way of thinking and, tweaked it a little bit, but basically proteins, fats, no fruit. I've had hardly any fruit for 30 years at all. It's become my enemy on the forbidden list. But over the years, as I'm getting older, my health is declining. I mean, my gut issues are worse. I have a hiatal hernia. I have low blood sugar, hypoglycemia. I wrote some stuff down. What I believe is leaky gut. I probably have adrenal issues. I have food sensitivities, constipation, my hair's falling out, depression, anxiety, all kinds of stuff. And it just seems to be getting worse. But just recently, to this day, first I want to say to this day, like I've still been eating a lot of meat, even though it's grass fed. I've been hearing, from paleo and Maker's Diet and leaky gut and all that when you have Candida and gut issues, you're supposed to eat only cooked foods, no to low fruit, grass-fed meats, healthy fats, and that kind of thing. So I've been believing that was the way to go. But I have been doing that for years, right up until about 3 weeks ago. And I started to feel like just instinctively, this is making me worse. And I've been believing this for years, thinking that this is how to keep my blood sugar steady. This is how to maintain and not have the Candida go crazy and all that. But I'm getting worse. So about 3 weeks ago, I decided to try just cutting out meat. So I stopped eating meat about 3 weeks ago, and for the protein, because of the low blood sugar, I've been doing tofu and a little bit of fish and some nut butters, because I'm still not where I feel like I can't eat. I'm not yet at the place where I feel comfortable not doing some proteins like that. I want to get past that though. But anyway, so I haven't had any meat in about 3 weeks, and I've lowered my fat intake a lot. So where I used to fry a lot of my vegetables and load them with oil for the calories and thinking that fat was good for me, coconut oil and olive oil and that kind of thing. And I was doing a lot of homemade milk kefir, but it was clogging me up and my ears were buzzing and ringing and humming and all that. And I had a stuffy nose all the time and just all kinds of problems. So anyway, lately I've been watching a lot of videos about the idea that sugar is not the problem with Candida. The problem is fat. The problem is too much fat in the bloodstream is clogging us up. It's coating whatever it coats in there, maybe the cells and stuff like that. I don't know, but the fat is keeping the sugar in the bloodstream for too long, and that's when the Candida comes along and it can eat up the sugar, which it's supposed to do, to some extent, but then it can overgrow because the sugar is just in the bloodstream too long. The sugar is supposed to be able to leave the bloodstream and go into the cells and feed our cells, which has not been happening to me for years and years and years, which is why I'm deteriorating and getting worse and have low blood sugar, because the sugar isn't going into my cells where it's supposed to go, because we need the sugar. And I've been avoiding sugar for 30 years. I've been avoiding fruit. My body must be so depleted. I haven't had any raw vegetables. I haven't been eating fruits for years. And I'm getting worse and worse and worse. So I've been watching more about this and trying to understand more about lowering the fats, getting that fat out of the bloodstream so that I can eat the natural sugars and they can go in and go into the cells and nourish me. So after dropping the meat and trying to lower the fats, I have added fresh vegetable juices for about a week. No sweets, just greens, celery, cucumber, romaine lettuce, zucchini, stuff like that. I've been doing a couple of those a day, but I didn't want to do fruit right away because I've actually developed a fear of fruit, which is insane, but I'm sure some of you can identify with me. It's like, oh my gosh, like, don't eat fruit. That's like on the no-no list. It's forbidden. So I haven't had, the only fruit I've had in about 30 years is maybe a couple of blueberries or apples or something, but even those bother me. So anyway, so I've been lowering my fat for about a week or so. So today, this morning, actually, it's about 9 o'clock right now. About a half hour ago, yesterday I bought myself some organic fruit, and I want to try one kind at a time, to make sure that I know which ones affect me, which ones don't, whatever. Hopefully none of them affect me in a bad way. But I bought some organic grapes, green grapes. So just a few minutes ago, I ate like a small bowl of green organic grapes. I have not eaten grapes in, seriously, probably 30 years. So I just ate some. So I'm waiting to see how they're going to affect me. So far, so good. Usually, fruit, even just an apple, will spike my blood sugar right up. But according to what I'm learning, that's because I had too much fat in my blood. But if my fat intake, maybe my blood is cleaning out a little bit now because I haven't been having as much fat. But so far, I ate those about a half hour ago. I don't feel that hyper blood sugar spike that I usually get, and I'm not having any bad symptoms. I'm going to check my blood sugar with the little meter in about half hour, and I'm going to see where it went. So I am going to check that. I'm going to keep track of that. So this is what I'm going to try right now. I've got to switch gears because what I've been doing for all these years, you would have think that I would have figured it out sooner that this diet does not work for me, the high meat, high fat, but I'm a slow learner, I guess. But I'm going to try this. What do I have to lose? I'm getting sicker. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I also have advanced osteoporosis. That's messed up because I'm not that old. It's advanced. I have like -4 in certain spots, -3 something. Like it's bad. So, and that's all part of acidity and too much meat and whatever. But I'm really hoping that these changes totally change my life because I want to reverse all these problems. And according to people I've heard on the internet, you can reverse everything that I've named and more. So I'm going to be making some videos to let you know how I'm doing. But I'm excited. I feel hopeful, and I really hope that I'm not going to be disappointed because I've tried things before, but this really makes sense to me. So wish me luck, okay? Thank you. Bye.